are leaving Birmingham today. We've been there a night and yeah, had a very nice time there. You can see Birmingham just in the distance behind me, and we're coming out on the Birmingham main line on our way to Dudley to go to the Black Country Museum, and it's dead straight all the way there, about 8 miles of dead straight canal. There is a loop you can do around the back which is more interesting, but we did that on our first year, got stuck in a low pound, and we've done it. So we're just going to go for Dudley today, hopefully more up there tonight, and then go to the museum tomorrow. I have to say, this bit coming through here is a bit grim. The whole towpath down there for about, I don't know, quarter of a half a mile has been closed off because these old factories, red brick factories by the side, which are falling down. Nothing holding up some of the walls, and it looks very dangerous through there. Well, the scenery's improved a little, but the amount of rubbish in the canal hasn't. It's absolutely strewn with it. It's as bad as Leicester was last year. There's fishermen sitting at various intervals. I mean, I can't imagine they're getting anything out apart from plastic bottles and cans. Oh, just loads of it. I don't know. I don't know what can be done about it, but it's disgusting. We're just coming up the little flight of locks, which are just before the turn off down to the Black Country Museum. And at least in the locks I can pick out the rubbish. There's an ice cream here that's not even been opened. It's going to be a hot mess of liquid in there. Yuck. Hopefully I can find somewhere to get rid of it all. Well, we've got to the end of the little branch that ends at the Black Country Museum, and the Black Country Museum is where Peaky Blinders was filmed. Although I don't suppose I'll be seeing Tommy Shelby today. Shame. Anyway, after being a bit depressed by the rubbish and the grim path out of Birmingham, it's nice down here, and I shall cheer up now and give you a good tour around the museum. There's a road behind us here, but what we can do is wind under the bridge ahead, and there's a 24-hour mooring on the other side, so we're going to do that and just get a little bit further away from the road traffic. Well, here we go. The Black Country Museum is a whole town that's made up. Just wander through it like well, about the size of a small village, I suppose. And although I've edited this video down, there's so much to see here that it's a bit longer than my usual videos. So if you're not really into history, then you might not make it to the end. I've also taken shots of lots of information boards, but they're not up for too long, so if you want to read them, you'll just have to pause the video. Oh, it smells really old in here. Old fires and wood. Next door is the cobblers. Opposite there's another little cottage with a picture of Queen Victoria. And the shouting you can hear is a man over behind me showing people how to make clout nails. This is the area down here that you would recognise from Peaky Blinders. And this bit over here. Oh, just to imagine Cillian Murphy has been here. And this was the preacher van which went from place to place with a borrowed shire horse, and they would have drummed up business by playing this instrument. 2 men lived in here, and they relied on the kindness of strangers with a little support from the Methodist Church. This old bakery was found with its oven still intact, so they dismantled it and brought it to the museum and rebuilt it. They still make demonstration bread every day.
You can see is by feeling the wall. I mean, you're more than welcome just to put your hand on this section. You can feel the change in the heat from the bricks low after the bricks that are on the oven sort of wall.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference, isn't there? So I know from just touching that there.
All of the ground here is crushed coal. And now we're going into the pawnbrokers. And in here are old coats and old fabric up there. I don't know, people wouldn't have had that much to pawn in those days that was worth very much. Henry is in his element. He's so chirpy. Another house with a lot of cake stands in it. Maybe it's a tea shop. In fact, it is the cake shop. We came in through the back and this is the front. Very modern prices. And next door is the sweet shop.
Thank you.
Put it in your bag.
There we go. Thank you.
I had to come out of there quick because I was just about to buy some lemon bonbons. And now up to the high street.
Also.
This is inside the fish and chip shop. Benches all around the edge. Nice colour walls, right up my street. We might have to come back for some chips. They're cooked in beef dripping and they smell delicious. Meanwhile, we've got the menswear specialist. And all of this is for sale. I think we're going to have to go for chips now. I'm feeling hungry. But the lady in the gentleman's outfitters was just telling us that in the next few weeks they're opening more streets up the back here, which are going to be 40s, 50s and 60s. And they're all through there. They have Peaky Blinders nights here and 14s nights. When they have the Peaky Blinders nights, they get about 2,000 people here, all dressed up in costume. They have all the streets gaslit. They have a fun fair here. It sounds amazing. It's a little bridge over the canal, and the high street that we've just been walking up and down is set during the period after the First World War, the 20s into the 30s. Ooh, look, motorbike shop. And the tray of sawdust chippings are there for the inevitable oil spill from all British bikes of that time. The shop for the days when everybody smoked, and Henry's just recognised the tin that he actually owns, the Players Navy cut cigarette ones. You keep your drill bits in it, don't you?
I do.
Craven they. Believe me, you'll smoke them sooner or later.
One of my grands used to smoke them.
Oh, Craven A even sounds terrible, doesn't it? Next. Is that Winston Churchill? Is it Churchill or Chamberlain? Oh, I don't know, I'm sure someone can tell me. Fantastic tiling on this pub. Might go and see if they sell a ginger ale in here. Got a ginger ale? Fantastic, I'll have one of those, please.
Yeah, what else have you got? You've probably got an IPA. And actually, I'll have ginger ale as well.
After a swift ginger ale, we come to the Workers' Institute, where they have a cafe. This would have been like the community hall for everybody. Go and have a little look at what's upstairs. Room for meetings. Oh, I love the smell in here. I'm guessing that this will be the 50th street down here. And a little park for the workers. With an old-fashioned fun fair that says modern amusements. I love all this old fairground imagery. I can't really do justice to this place on a short video, but it's really good day out. I mean, it's about £22 to get in, or less if you're concessions, but it's a total day out. You could spend the whole day here, and it's really really amazing. I'm not entirely sure which era this street is. I mean, that has a look of the Art Nouveau about it, or the Art Deco I should say. I love the view of the rooftops. Very Coronation Street. This is exactly how I write now. Taught in school and still used. Posh italic writing. And who remembers this? I do believe the cat sat on the mat.
You did that, I was really impressed with that.
Yeah, well, I wanted to see the colours coming out in September.
Yeah.
Colours through. Have you seen the two?
I've seen some.
Well, the three, no three is coming out. That's the barn. I might see that one.
On the other side of the pawnbrokers.
Excellent, thank you.
Pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And behind that little cottage is the wash house. And today, being a Monday, would have been wash day because the kilns were all dampened down on a Sunday, so there wouldn't have been so much pollution on a Monday, which is good for when you're drying your clothes. And then behind the wash house was the privy. Which would have been a long drop. Remember that cookery book I had, Henry, that had recipes at the back and included some with laudanum in them? It's 1928 recipe book. I found it in a jumble sale. So the garden at the back, would that have grown? Okay, a fizzy garden, wow.
There we go. Because you go into a supermarket today and you buy something and it goes neat, neat. It's a dull sound. Whereas you do that, and when you're handing over your £50 and your £10, your £20, it just feels a little bit better.
And back where we started, we have the Methodist Church. And as soon as the service had finished, you could nip over to the pub. Last but not least, we're going to the cinema for a little comedy show. Nice and cool in here as well, because it's very hot out there. And so we come to the end of our trip. We've been in there about 4 hours and I couldn't show everything. It's worth coming yourselves. Oh, it was very good and worth every penny. Well, that's the end of this video. We're moored right outside the museum and it's all closed up for the night now, so we have this lovely peaceful spot to ourselves and the water is so clear I can just sit here and watch the fish all night. That's it for now. See you in the next video. Bye for now.